Hey friends, it's Eric Hulkern. On today's podcast, we are talking with Consumers Energy, and they work with Michigan businesses every single day to provide energy solutions that help save and support sustainability goals. Those businesses can be large, they can be small, they could even be a school district, and that's where we find ourselves today. On the podcast, Nate Carver, he's the Consumers Energy Director of Project Management for Commercial and Industrial Businesses, and Jill Diliberti, she is the Energy Manager for the Genesee County Intermediate School District, and that is where we find ourselves on today's podcast, talking about energy savings and the impact on schools. As I said, my guests today, Nate and Jill. My friends, how are you today?
Doing great. Thank you, Eric.
Same here.
It's a pleasure to have both of you. I'm excited to jump in with this. And Nate, we're going to start with you. You know, we've been talking a lot with the team at Consumers about energy efficiencies and the amount of money that you guys are able to save Michigan businesses. For some context, I'm wondering, can you maybe give us kind of a high level number as that amount that you've been able to save Michigan businesses with the programs that you guys have in place?
Since 2009, since our the energy waste reduction inception, we've helped business customers save 2.5 billion. That's with a B. When you combine that with our residential customers, our homeowners, you're talking over $4 billion of energy saved thanks to our energy efficiency program. So, and this is a figure that continues to grow more and more each year. But really, energy efficiency, we should put it into context, is just one part of our clean energy portfolio that are really there to help all Michiganders save money and protect the planet. So you're talking about things like demand response, renewable energy, electric vehicles. But for many, it really starts with energy efficiency and how do you take advantage of those programs to learn how to start saving money and how to be more efficient in my business or home.
Nate, I've said this question before, but it does continue to fascinate me. As an energy company who wants people to use less energy, that seems a bit counterintuitive. Could you maybe kind of put a finer point on why you guys would want customers to use less of your product?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So really, it comes down to if we're all able to use less energy or use it in a more efficient manner at the time of day when we use, it keeps us from having to go and use alternative sources of energy that are likely more expensive. So really, it comes down to a win-win when we're able to be more efficient with the energy we have and use it more effectively, as opposed to, again, going to get generation or new electricity elsewhere. That's going to be a more expensive resource. And in short, it's a win-win for everybody.
Now, Nate, we're here obviously to talk about Genesee County and school district there, but for people who might be watching this and wondering, before we get into kind of the nuts and bolts of this, what sort of businesses are eligible for these efficiency rebates and programs that we're about to talk about?
We talk about the 2.5 billion in savings that I mentioned before. Over half of that has reduced costs for businesses. So whether you're a large factory, we're talking healthcare providers, farms, retail stores in your downtown, and of course, we just mentioned the schools. So business owners, sometimes they'll tell us that they're surprised, really, when they find out how simple it is to take advantage of the programs. And you're talking incentives that can offset up to 35% of a project cost. So, and for some customers, I mean, we can even get out there and do some free energy assessments to really help you look at the menu of options that can help you get started to save money and take advantage of the programs.
Now, if a Michigan business is able to save this money, how does that end up benefiting the Michigan communities at large?
Think of something as simple as LED lighting. You convert out, whether you're home or in the business, to LED lighting. Now you're not spending as much in that area, and you're able to invest that elsewhere, whether that's back into your business or other pieces that you want to invest into the community. According to the Department of Energy, on average, 30% of commercial buildings, the energy use is wasted. So imagine 30 cents of every dollar that you're able to reinvest back into your business for a piece of equipment, whether that's employees or, again, other areas that matter to you. So we can all work together to eliminate that energy waste, help businesses save money, reinvest those dollars back into the business, and all of that while caring for our community and the state.
Now, Nate, this is all amazing, but I want to get more specific today. And obviously, we have brought a guest along, and I'm wondering if you can kind of introduce Jill and kind of lay out what the program was that you guys were able to do in Flint and how it benefited Michigan kids.
This is one example, really, and Jill will get into it, of a business energy efficiency savings that made a huge difference for the Michigan kids in the school district. When people think about businesses, sometimes they forget that public and private schools are right there. And we help the schools across the state to help them stretch every dollar. And Jill and Westwood Heights Schools in Flint is just one example of a district that really took smart, simple steps that led to big savings.
All right, Jill. So let's welcome you back in. Again, thank you for joining us on the podcast. What was the problem that the district was facing that consumers were able to kind of help and go along with you on?
Well, I think our problem was, and I know that a lot of schools across Michigan had the same problem, especially with older buildings. So the problem is that our HVAC, or our heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and our lighting equipment really had outlived its useful life. It was inefficient. It was costly to repair. Our buildings were built in the 1960s, so it was getting harder and harder to find new replacement parts for equipment that was obsolete. So, our maintenance staff at one point had resorted to eBay just to try to find it. So we knew that we needed to find an answer to this type of problem.
And so how are you using energy management as part of that solution?
Yep. So we partnered with Consumers Energy just to make improvements to our buildings and also to save money in the process.
Now, one of the things when we talk about these energy savings, people think to themselves, okay, how long does this take for a school? How long did it take for you guys to get these things in place and start to kind of see a difference?
Great question. Really, Westwood Heights put together a 5-year energy efficiency improvement plan. So with the help of Consumers Energy, we were able to make that happen. We start out with this plan, and, that was a great, first step. But it is a continual process.
And how is that translating into dollars right at this? I mean, obviously it's a 5-year plan, but like right this second, what does the savings look like for you guys?
Yeah, well, the savings are fantastic. So when we said, okay, we're going to make all these improvements to our buildings, we anticipated that we would save about $80,000 annually with electric and natural gas. But then working with Consumers Energy, we were able to take advantage of their energy efficiency program. And so with that, the first year, we were able to get almost $200,000 in rebates back.
Wow.
And that's a physical check paid to the order of the school district.
Wow.
So for the school district to have that type of money, they can use that for lots of things. And that's not all. We were also able to...
but wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. Yes, exactly. Consumers Energy has their Project of the Year competition. So we submitted our project for that. And in addition to bragging rights, we won, and we were able to get another $15,000. So when you add up all that, that was over $295,000 back the first year. And then we know going further every year after that, we'll have additional $80,000 in energy savings.
What does that mean for the students, right? An extra $300,000 in year one and $80,000 every year after. What does that mean when you translate it down to the kids coming into the school?
Yeah, so when now we have just the impact and this investment with our learning environment. I mean, the atmosphere changes, right? You have new LED lighting. So it's, consistent lighting, the quality's there. It's a better environment. So it's safer, it's more comfortable, it's more conducive. So you can focus right on learning. So that's great for the students and the staff and the parents and the community. It really has far-reaching effects with that. And then this is important too for Westwood Heights, because if we were to go back, say 10 years in the 2012, 2013 school year, we had 850 students in the school district. Now, fast forward to today, we're looking at about 1,600 students. So that's, almost double. So, we really want to have a great learning environment for our students.
And so were there any other additional benefits of working with Consumers Energy on this project?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, consumers, it made an easy process, and any type of barriers with communication, we didn't have to worry about that. What we actually did was we brought Consumers Energy right in the beginning of our project. So we actually met on site in our building. We had, from the district standpoint, we had the superintendent and the operations director, our contractors. Then we had from the consumers energy side, we had their energy advisors, their energy engineers, all together. We walked the building so everybody could really have a really good idea of what the project scope was. And then consumers could add in any additional advice, different things that maybe we hadn't considered. So we had it up front, and it was really a team approach.
Now, Jill, did you guys have the plan to bring them in early? Was that on your end, or like how did that whole relationship come about where you're like, let's bring them in right at the beginning so they can help us build this 5-year plan?
Yeah, so I've been working with Consumers Energy. I support 8 districts in the county. So I've been working with them, and we have great, energy advisors. So we talk about this stuff. And I said, hey, we had this coming down the pipeline. And they said, have us come in early. We want to be part of it early on so that we can see what your project is and what you're planning to do. So it really was beneficial.
And so, Nate, I'm going to throw it back to you for a follow-up to that. When you guys go through a project like this as an organization, what sort of stuff do you learn from working with a school district like this and seeing the results and seeing the impact it has on the kids that you can then take and kind of reflect back to the rest of Michigan?
Yeah, no, and you're absolutely right. It's really when we're able to work with customers that closely is to understand their business better, whatever that might be. In this case, obviously with kids, where there's a vested interest for all of us in the state, but also understanding how their buildings operate and where there could be the same opportunities in other buildings across the state of Michigan and things we can do, or vice versa, where we've seen some things some other districts have done and maybe go to Jill and say, have you thought about this or some of the things? Again, anything that can help those customers improve, be more efficient, and again, reinvest to their business at the bottom line where they're getting savings back.
I think it's helpful. We start the dialogue. We want to, be energy efficient. And so working with Consumers Energy, they have the experts, right, to do that. So, we bring them in so that we can make sure that we're really maximizing out any, type of, things that they have, any type of programs that they can offer us.
Jill, you obviously have multiple sites that you oversee, but with this one specifically that we're talking about today, it's an incredible story. Do you have any advice you would give other businesses that might be thinking about going through this same process with what they do, that you might be able to kind of send them in the right direction?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, really, it's just, be willing and be open to all possibilities. Energy efficiency is really using less energy to get the job done. So we really want to, as far as the school district, we want to be a role model. We want to teach our students to, have that energy efficiency mindset and use energy wisely. So I think that, as far as advice, we want to just say be open to any type of opportunities that are out there to be energy efficient.
And Nate, last question to you. Any final tips for Michigan businesses on how they can partner with Consumers Energy and help not only make a better, more energy efficient Michigan, but help their bottom line?
Yeah, absolutely. The easiest thing, just contact us. Don't wait. Get a hold of us. We're more than willing to come out and help you out and guide you down the right path. And the easy way to do that, go to www.consumersenergy.com/Charles at work to that. And then you can learn how you can help your businesses reduce cost.
Nate, Jill, thank you so much for the time. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.